Push it.
Took that drum some, man.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I saw the people gather. And I heard the music start. And the song that they were playing and hearing is ringing in my heart. And here we go. Yes, I'm gonna lay down my burdens where? Down by the riverside. Where? I'm gonna lay down all my burden and troubles down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study war no more. Yes, I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield. Where? Down by the riverside. Where? Down by. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Yes, we gonna get by that river. That great, big, beautiful, beautiful river. Yes, we're gonna gather by that river that leads to the throne of God. Yes, we're gonna lay down all our sorrows and cares down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. We're gonna lay down all our burdens and cares down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Study in the saints over.
Lord, I want to be in that number. Yes, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the oh, don't let me down now. How I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching. Thank you.
I like our new song.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're so appreciative. And that's our program for today. We've got to go on, but we love you, and we hope that we'll be back soon.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank the Preservation Hall Jazz Band once again for that magnificent and inspiring performance. You guys are just terrific. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. And this is just a preview of the show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I promise better weather. I promise that the stage that's out on the Pentecrest will be up and they'll be ready to go for us. And if you're in Davenport tonight, that's where you guys are headed next, I think. So the Preservation Hall Jazz Band were Hampshire Auditorium's opening performers in 1972. And they are now in the midst of the statewide Living with the Floods tour, sponsored by Hampshire with the UI College of Engineering, our College of Education, and the Interdisciplinary Flood Workshop, the Center for Global and Regional Environmental Research, and the Iowa Flood Center. Their Iowa tour is just one more example of the many ways that we at the University of Iowa are engaging with communities all across the state. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's thank them once more. Told it's time for you to Who knows floods better, okay, than folks from New Orleans? We share a lot in common, and I would tell you that another point that was raised as I was coming in this afternoon, and Jeff Lieberman reminded me, this building and this auditorium right here used to be our Performing Arts Center a long time ago. Before most of us, I think, in the audience, maybe not Bob Downer, but perhaps, sorry, Bob. He's laughing, that's a good thing. Yeah, but this was our Performing Arts Center, so I think it's appropriate that while we had to be indoors this afternoon, we got a chance to enjoy the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, and again, in what was once our Performing Arts Center. I do want to welcome everyone who's been able to come out this afternoon to this great celebration. I want to thank our guests for attending this special event, celebrating the partnerships that are bringing 3 new arts facilities to the University of Iowa. We are so excited about this opportunity, to say the least. Campus, state, and federal leaders have been instrumental in helping us establish a shared vision for a revitalized arts campus. And those partnerships have brought us here today, and they've brought us to this major point in our campus renewal. And I can't tell you how excited I am about this. It seems like it's been a long time in the coming. It was 5 years ago today that we were doing something quite different on campus, to say the very least. And as I look around the audience, so many of the people who were there 5 years ago with us, filling sandbags and trying desperately to protect the campus. The partnerships that have brought us together today have brought us to this major point, and these partnerships are not just about building new buildings, but they're also about re-envisioning how to live with the river and how to address the threat of flooding. I know some of you have probably seen some of the TV shows this week that have been tributes to the flood, and I have been teased on numerous occasions this week about a question that I asked when I was hired 6 years ago. And I was being given the campus tour by Rod Leonards, and I had a chance to meet with the Board of Regents that afternoon, and I happened to ask the question of several of the board members, does that river ever flood? And yes, I really did ask that question, and you would not believe the answers I got. So we won't talk about those. We have seen the partnerships that I'm referring to today at work once again. and working very effectively these past few weeks as the waters of the Iowa River have risen anew. Today, although we're once again in a flood, it's nothing like it was 5 years ago. And I want to say a special thank you to so many people, some in this room today, some not with us today, but so many people who have made this flood preparation so much easier and so much better than it was 5 years ago. But today marks a new beginning for our campus. We are pleased to be here with all of you to celebrate that new beginning, and we are pleased to publicly thank those who have made it possible. And there are many people to thank. So let me introduce those partners who are guests with us today. Certainly, first and foremost, among many, our Board of Regents have been a crucial and supportive partner. And today with us, we are fortunate to have both President of the Board of Regents, Bruce Rastetter, and Regent Bob Downer with us. So Bruce and Bob, thank you so much for all the support you've given us. Let's give them a round. And in a few moments, Bruce will have some comments to make. Now, the university and the city of Iowa City enjoy an excellent relationship. We're very fortunate, actually, to have that relationship. And the partnership that we have in flood recovery and mitigation is crucial. And we thank the city a great deal. I don't think we have, I know we have a city council member with us, Jim Throgmorton, but our city manager was going to try and be here with us today, and he couldn't make it, unfortunately. Now, our local legislative delegation, all the members of the Iowa General Assembly, the governor and lieutenant governor, and several other state agencies have been truly extraordinary in their support and in their belief in us. So bear with me because there's some people that I want to call out. State leaders joining us today are our senators Joe Bolcom and Bob Dvorsky. Joe and Bob, I don't know what to say other than thank you so much. And Bob will say a few words in a few moments as well. Representative Dave Jacoby. I don't think Dan Kelly made it, unfortunately, this afternoon, but he needs to be thanked as well. Vicki Lensing, who's with us. Mary Masher and Art Stead aren't here either, but we want to thank them as well. Director of the Department of Cultural Affairs, Mary County. I don't know, did Mary make it? We were hoping she would, but let's thank her anyway. I know Pat Hall is here. Pat, could you stand, because I'm not sure everyone in the audience knows you. And Mark Scouten, administrator with the Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Division. Mark, would you stand so we can introduce you? Our elected officials, if you all would stand with this crew now, let's thank them specially for all that they have done. Those are just the locals, so to speak. We have more. We have more. Flood recovery and rebuilding is a multifaceted process, and our federal partners have been central to our success as well. Now, I know that our senators and our representative are in Washington, D.C. voting on important matters today and couldn't be with us, but we're very fortunate to have Dave Lesch from Congressman Dave Loebsack's office here with us today, to have Fred Schuster from Senator Chuck Grassley's office, and to have Beth Freeman from FEMA with us today. If the three of you would stand so we could say thank you, I'd be very appreciative. I can say thank you over and over again to each and every one of you, and it wouldn't be enough. We are truly grateful to these leaders and to many more. It's with their help that we're moving forward with a new School of Music building, a School of Art and Art History building, and of course, Hansher Auditorium. So please, once again, join me in thanking all of these public leaders for their commitment and hard work on behalf of the University of Iowa. Now, the arts and culture have been central to the legacy and the character of the University of Iowa for many, many decades. Creativity is essential to our discovery mission as much as cures for cancer, explorations of space, and understandings of the Constitution. It's all part of who we are. And that's why Iowa is known as the first university to award academic credit for creative work. And that's why our campus arts facilities are an integral part of our broader institutional vision. Now, of course, no one would have wished for the devastating floods of 2008, certainly not myself and not anyone else in this room. But we are taking full advantage of the unique opportunity that those floods placed before us and even thrust upon us. So as we embark on this very exciting phase of our renewed campus, we know that we have to provide the best facilities to bring our storied arts programs into the 21st century, and we're doing just that. Today we're celebrating that shared vision of building an arts campus that will define creativity in the university and serve our students, our faculty and staff, our community, and our state and beyond for generations to come. So today, I think we also have to thank our students, faculty, and staff who have been involved in our flood recovery. We have to thank them for their important work and vision in moving forward on rebuilding the arts campus. And to our art students, faculty, and staff specifically, we especially thank them for their patience, their flexibility, and creativity in making the best of what has not been an ideal situation. They continue to wait patiently for these new facilities to arise. So I think we must thank them very much for the remarkable ways that they have continued their work in the past 5 years, in some cases undaunted by some pretty major challenges. I can't tell you how impressed and at times even moved that I've been by how they've found unique, imaginative ways to develop and showcase their talents here on campus, around the state, and even across the country and throughout the globe during these challenging years. And I am so grateful that we will be able to enjoy some of the superb fruits of that talent today as part of our celebration, as you'll see. Now today we also thank the hundreds of professional and skilled workers who are now working on and will continue to work on the actual rebuilding of our new arts facilities. They can't be with us today because they're working. I wake up in the morning now to the pounding across the river that will be the beams that will hold Hansher Auditorium up in the not too distant future. As well, we thank the many skilled craftspeople, the architects and engineers who are fulfilling the University of Iowa's vision for these facilities. And of course, there's one additional very important art building that has been lost to us in terms of its original use, and that's the Museum of Art. But I am very, very pleased that we are moving forward with plans for a new place to house and showcase our renowned and inspiring art collection. And our entire university community is grateful again to the Board of Regents' decision on June 5th to support those plans. We will have more to say and report on in the months ahead with regard to the Art Museum, so stay tuned. So, with that, it's now my very great pleasure to introduce to you the President of the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, Bruce Rastetter, who's going to share a few words with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, President Mason. On behalf of the Board of Regents, it's indeed a pleasure for me to be here today, and in particular alongside Regent Downer. And I certainly would not have thought that you were here when this building was first built, Bob. So, we certainly appreciate the opportunity and really have waited long for this day. Over the last 2 years, and I've just been a Regent 2 years, but the number of phone calls, the amount of hard work that a variety of people have done here, beyond the people that were mentioned, and certainly listening to those calls and understanding whether it's Carol Reesner, Doug True, the whole group, and the terrific job that all of you did in the detail of making sure that today was possible to build the campus better and stronger has been really critical. And one of the views on the Regents is that through the universities and the special schools, the Board of Regents' mission is to create high-quality education, engage in high-quality research, scholarship, and creative activities, and enhance the quality of life of Iowans, and create and support economic development in the state. The rebuilding of the University of Iowa Arts Campus helps us fulfill each of those areas that are so important in creating new educational opportunities in artistic creation and performances, and in significant jobs that are going to be created through the economic development and rebuilding of those buildings. The Board of Regents and its staff, and in particular, I give credit to the Board of Regents office in Des Moines for working alongside the university in the hours and alongside the state officials and making sure that, again, today was happened and the renewal of the campus occurs. And we continue to support the university, as President Mason mentioned, on the arts building that clearly needs to be rebuilt and will. And also during this challenging recovery, one of the areas that didn't get noticed as much is the continuing of the classes and the continuing the commitment and outreach across Iowa that the arts community and areas have and college has here at Iowa. So the Board of Regents is appreciative of that, and thank all of you for those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. It's always reassuring to hear from the board that they're there with us. We enjoy that support greatly. We also enjoy support from many, many other sectors, and I have to say that someone who has been there from the start and continues to be an extremely strong supporter of the things that we need, and hears the voices of the University of Iowa probably more than he needs to, but we're happy that he listens as well as he does, is Senator Bob Dvorsky from Coralville. Bob, would you come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you very much. It's certainly a good day for celebration. I suppose there's not a better way to celebrate than with the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. I noted that a few years ago we had Tony Orlando here. So it's great to have these different musical partners involved in our processes. So thank you for that. A lot of people in the audience probably don't remember who Tony Orlando was. Anyway, it was my honor and privilege to be involved in the Iowa Senate and the Iowa legislature when we passed the iJobs program that put $100 million to the University of Iowa to try and move forward in some of these programs. And I'd like to thank former Governor Culver and Governor Branstad for moving forward on that program and getting things done there. It was really a good team effort on our part in the House and Senate and the governor to do that. And the fruits of this are these 3 buildings you're seeing here, as well as a number of other buildings and the rebuilding of the University of Iowa. They told us that we gave them $100 million, and Doug True, the magician that he is, would make that into $600 million. And I think he's done that, even maybe more than that. So that was tremendous. I guess looking out on the audience here, I try to think of the 3 groups that are partners in all this. I think of some individuals that I know that are my friends that I think have really done a great job, and I kind of want to single them out as particularly people who really do a great job in representing their agencies. One is Beth Freeman, who works for FEMA, used to work for Senator Harkin, doing a great job in Kansas City. The other one is Mr. Pat Hall, who works in Homeland Security. He's actually a state bureaucrat who'll give you an answer. That's unusual, and usually it's the right answer too. So thank you very much for your good work. And then my friend Steve McGuire, who's done a tremendous job of operating without much for facilities and keeping the faith and getting things done. So I congratulate you all for how you're moving forward, getting things done, and all the 3 entities who are involved in this. And I think that the last one of my friends who's moving things forward is someone we need to listen to now, and that's Larry Weber and his people. So let's look to the Iowa Flood Center now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Senator Bob. That's what I call him. He truly has been a great friend and another great friend. And there are many in the audience today, so it's hard to single out these people, but she's been gracious in terms of being willing to speak today on behalf of the House of Representatives, Vicki Lensing.
Good afternoon. I brought my raincoat so it wouldn't rain, but I have no control over the bugs, so it's probably better we're inside. You know, as a member of the House of Representatives, just like with the Senate. When the floods occurred, we were subjected to briefings, good news and bad news, updates. One of the best things I think that came out of the floods was the Iowa Flood Center and the work that they do, and the way that it has impacted beyond Iowa City and the rest of the state. But this afternoon, I would like to talk to you as an Iowa Citian. We all have memories of the buildings along the river, the arts buildings, the theater buildings. I am personally flooded with memories of the importance of the arts and the buildings that were lost in the flood. The loss was not only to the University of Iowa and Iowa City, but the entire state of Iowa and even beyond our borders. The west side of the river is my old neighborhood. I grew up there. My grandparents lived on Park Road, and my dad still lives there. So to me, losing Hansher, Waxman, Clapp, and the Museum of Art, like for so many of you, was very personal. As a little girl, I watched the Quonset huts being hauled away as they began the construction of Hansher Auditorium, Waxman, and Clapp. In grade school, I remember we walked down from Lincoln Elementary to the new Museum of Art and got a hands-on experience at the diverse collections. And for many children in my class, me included, this was our first exposure to such various types of art. By the time Hansher was completed, I was in high school, and I remember the extraordinary experience at that young teenage of being able to attend performances of musicals like Pippin and Cats, and hearing jazz great Dave Brubeck. Now the other night, Chuck Swanson was talking about ticket prices, and I was a little shocked at how the numbers that he was throwing out for back in those days. But it didn't matter. We had an opportunity as kids to attend shows that we never would have had a chance to see otherwise. Friends of mine who were involved in vocal music performed both at West High and at City High, performed at Clapp Hall. And I truly appreciate that the collaboration the School of Music as well as Hansher had with Iowa school children. The university had excellent facilities, and those were used by both professionals and these young budding artists. And Hansher continued to reach out across the state, sending visiting artists to share their talent with school children all across Iowa. As a journalism student at the University of Iowa, I served my newspaper internship at Hansher Auditorium. So in 1979, many of the University News Service press releases that went out for Hansher University Theater and the University of Iowa Opera Theater, I had a hand in as an intern. By the time my oldest children graduated from high school, both City High and West High were using Hansher as the place for the graduation ceremonies. And when I was married in 2000, I was married at Hansher Auditorium. So my attachment to and my support of these buildings is indeed very personal. But I am not alone to say that these arts and performance buildings have not been a major part of just Iowa City, but as I said, the entire state, the millions of children, the hundreds of people who came to attend them is an understatement. Pablo Picasso said, "Art washes away the dust of everyday life." It is time to allow art, music, and theater, washed away by the flood, to return to our everyday lives. Today we begin to welcome the arts back to our campus, our community, and our state. So as we say goodbye to what was, we need to smile and remember and look forward to the many new memories. To the artists, faculty, and students, thank you for being so patient. To the current and future donors, thank you for providing the resources to rebuild. To the volunteers, the patrons, the visitors, and the audiences awaiting these new buildings, I'd like to quote the lyrics from a song from West Side Story, which was performed at Hansher by the University of Iowa Theater back in the late 70s, I think. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good, if I can wait. Something's coming, I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be great. Thank you.
Once again, I do want to thank both Bob and Vicki and Bruce for representing groups that have been steadfast and staunch supporters. Without them, we wouldn't be this far along today. It's very much appreciated. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce my good friend, my partner in crime sometimes even, but good crimes for the University of Iowa, Lynette Marshall, CEO of the University of Iowa Foundation.
Vicki, thank you for reminding us what these buildings will mean to the future, to those people who will be married there and who will have their graduating classes there and who will be introduced to the arts and theater and music. It's a wonderful reminder of the impact of these facilities on our lives and what a joy it is to be able to celebrate that today. Wow, to be able to have Flag Day and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band and to be able to march around the auditorium, really, really a special day. Daniel Barenboim once said that every great work of art has two faces, one toward its own time and one toward the future. And I think what you shared reflects that quite personally and beautifully. So I'm here to say an important part of this is going to be the generosity of philanthropists who help make this happen and how much we appreciate that part of what we're going to be investing in the next several years. These are exceptional times for our University of Iowa, and it calls on exceptional friends to help us do that. I want to specifically thank two people who are here today. Jane Downer and Steve West have graciously stepped up and answered our call for helping us as the key volunteer leaders for the arts campaign for these new facilities. And I'd like to invite them to specifically stand and let all of us thank you for the leadership you continue to provide our community. These are two of the best friends of art in the entire state of Iowa and across our country, and we are deeply fortunate to have you on our team. Thank you so very much. This Arts and Mind campaign, which we are saying is going to be tagged Arts and Minds, building on Iowa's creative legacy, is a $30 million campaign to raise private gifts to help support these replacement buildings for the School of Music, the School of Art and Art History, and Hancher. And as you may know, it is part of the $1.7 billion comprehensive campaign, which we announced just about 6 weeks ago. This feels a little high to me. There we go. The campaign really represents what we must do to be able to fill out that magical $600 million that Doug's trying to put together for these three projects, which are vitally important, not only for the university, of course, but as Vicki said, for all of the students in our region, for all of the people who come here to be enriched and to have that dust blown off. As Picasso has said, when we achieve our $30 million goal, we will have raised more money for the arts than has ever been raised for the arts in the state of Iowa, and we're really looking forward to that. So with our help from generous alumni and friends, this campus is going to have 3 magnificent new facilities, and someone who understands the power and the impact of those facilities deeply is Steve McGuire. Steve is a professor in the School of Art and Art History and a studio division coordinator, and he's also serving as the school's summer director. Steve is just one of our many magnificent arts faculty, and it's my privilege to introduce you to him today. Steve?
Thank you, everyone, for being here to celebrate what is 5 years. And I have a number of people that I'd like to thank for their contribution to the School of Art and Art History. I'd like to mention some of the things that we anticipate with the new building, what it will bring to our students and more broadly to the state of Iowa. But let me first begin with an anecdote that I think illustrates really well what it's like to be an Iowan, what it's like to be a faculty member in the University of Iowa, what it's like to be a faculty member in the arts at the University of Iowa. It was just about this day, 5 years ago, about 3 days after the flood. We left our neighborhood in Parkview Terrace after it had flooded our house. I sat in a meeting with Joe Carney, Linda Maxon, Eugene Buck, where we discussed where we might relocate what is 700 undergraduate majors, 125 graduate students, and a program that serves another 2,000 university students. How we would do this over the course of the summer. Somebody said there's an old Menards building. We could go there. We walked into a big open space, and I was told that we're going to make this happen by the start of the year. To say that I was overwhelmed by the magnitude of what was supposed to transpire is an understatement. But what I learned is contributions directly from the Board of Regents. I could picture Bob Downer approving this. We went to what was called a build design process, so that each day we sat at a table, architects, construction contractors, Donna Piercy, Rod Leonard at different times, Beverly Robolino, all to figure out how we were going to pull this off. No small feat, but it happened. And the fact that we were so able to nimbly move as an institution happens just not with one or two people, but it happens statewide. And I really do thank the Board of Regents for wisely saying, we need this to happen. This is the way that it's going to happen. And let's move forward. I'd like to thank our congressional delegation. And this happens both as a professor and as just an Iowan. I actually think of myself as an Iowan, even though I was born in Kansas, probably because of the flood. And people say, so what's it like being an Iowan? And I think one of the most distinctive features of being an Iowan is that you know individually your congressional delegation. Through my neighborhood, not only Bob Dvorsky, Vicki Lensing, Joe Bolcom, Dave Jacoby, they came through our neighborhood. They all had the same question, what do you need and how can we help you get this? But I can also remember contacting first Dave Lesh, where's Dave? Dave Lesh, and saying, Dave, we are really struggling with how to navigate all the requests that we're making through FEMA. And he said, let me talk to the congressman. Dave Lobsack returned the phone call and went to work with us. We went at this for about 2 months, and then one afternoon from the city, I got a call, and the call was, Steve, I don't know who you talked to, but everything is approved. And then later, I got a call from Senator Tom Harkin's office, followed up with a letter that explained how we could proceed as a family in our neighborhood. All these things are being juggled and happening simultaneously. And I think that, what happens in Iowa, people know each other and they rally around each other. I can still remember Steve King coming into our neighborhood in Parkview Terrace, and I recognized him straight away. And he introduced himself. He explained his interest in seeing that both the neighborhood and the university came back in full. And this is somebody who's on the opposite side of the state, somebody who I had not worked with, but I was so incredibly impressed that the entire state responded. With that said, there are a number of people that I think it's been noted need to be mentioned, and it's the faculty and students at the University of Iowa in the arts campus. It's no small matter to have your life overturned in just hours and find that you don't have access to the equipment, to the studio facilities that you require to be successful, and to suddenly make something a new home. August 19th, 2008, I got a call from Jim Kenyon, who was the construction manager for Hodge Construction. And he said, Steve, I don't know how to say this. We don't have an occupancy permit for the Studio Arts building. I called Tom Rockland. Tom Rockland came down to the Studio Arts building. We had already figured out a bus route for students to come on Monday. The way you alert students to a change is to put in all uppercase, your university schedule has been administratively changed. When Tom Rockland came down to the Studio Arts building, what he saw were graduate students who that day and the next 3 days moved all of the equipment into that building, even as contractors were completing 90-hour shifts in order to make that building ready for class. And on Monday morning, the door opened and we began a bit of an adventure over the first year. But since what's happened is that we've grown to understand our curriculum in ways that we would have never anticipated, simply because of the impact of the flood. We think differently about our relationships to each other in terms of colleagues. We think differently about our relationships to the other disciplines, not just those in the arts, but the ones across campus. For instance, right now we have, and we're working on a very successful partnership with the College of Engineering. And in some ways, it probably would have never happened had we not been configured in the Studio Arts building in such a way that one faculty member sees another faculty member who sees them working with a piece of CNC equipment, who says, do you know that this is what's going on in the College of Engineering? Who says, why don't we go have a conversation? The College of Engineering comes out to Studio Arts, sees people gathered and working in a collaborative way that they would like to achieve themselves. And before we know it, we have a CNC suite and prototyping labs in a new building in which College of Engineering students and School of Art and Art History students, 60% of whom are double majors, are working side by side using new tools for new generation of art making. I'd also like to thank, again, the students. You don't know what it's like for them, I can only imagine, on a daily basis trying to figure out your bus schedule, your bike riding route, and the combination of riding a bicycle and a bus. With Studio Arts operating away from campus, this new project, a new Studio Arts building, will again bring us back to the main campus. I can't stress enough how important that is for the success of our students. Every year I get maybe 20 to 30 parents coming to visit me in my office with a high school student saying, can you tell me the difference between an art school and a university? Now, while we have historically and continue to be a highly ranked art program, our success rests not with the school itself, but the fact that we're situated within a university. The difference between an art school education and a university education is that you operate as an artist with a more diverse body of knowledge. Again, 60% of our students, of those 700 majors that I mentioned, are actually double majors. So they envision the success of their life as grounded in not only art, but another mode of inquiry. When I talk with parents, I explain that the best place that they could be is the University of Iowa, not the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. These new buildings, these new facilities are going to actually be, for this next generation of studio artists, I think, the finest facilities in the country, bar none. A lot has to do with the faculty. A lot has to do with the graduate students whose work inspires the faculty. But mainly, it has to do with the people who are in this room, other people who've had the wherewithal to save themselves. We have always historically been one of the strongest arts campus in the nation. We will bring this back, and it will be great. The impact of the new facilities can also be fairly specific in terms of opportunities. The new standalone building will mean for students and faculty a kind of reinvigoration on a national scale of the Iowa idea. And I know that Dean Linda Maxson was always so exquisite in talking about this, not just for the School of Art and Art History, but also for the entire arts campus. But I think that it's important to know that we've graduated the arts campuses, not just the School of Art and Art History, hundreds of students who've gone on to begin and head departments of art all across the United States. I remember I went to a doctoral dissertation defense at Concordia University in Montreal, and I got a note handed to me from the secretary in the art office that said, "Stay here, the provost would like to meet you." The provost came downstairs. "Hi, I'm a graduate of the School of Art and Art History at the University of Iowa." This is what happens all across the United States. So I imagine that this new building will reinvigorate this concept because of the practice that's able to take place in this building. You're going to have two buildings by Stephen Hall architects set side by side, but it is the embodiment of art and art history, studio practice, the inquiry of theory and criticism, and historical perspective set side by side. Among the new innovations in the building are going to be new digital tools. You cannot be an artist currently, even when working in an analog way, without referencing the digital tools that are available to you as an artist. We will continue, as a School of Art and Art History, to teach the traditional disciplines, but wed to those are going to be the new tools that are available. These facilities will allow our students to access those tools in a way that we've not been able to do it. I envision students coming from everywhere to attend this university. The 1936 building came into being right around this concept of the Iowa idea. So what I imagine, again, is that this new building is going to launch again the Iowa idea. New interdisciplinary explorations begun under one roof at Studio Arts have expanded the degree of options that we now have. We have a higher profile, actually, as an arts unit in Iowa and nationally, simply because of the work that our students have produced under terrific circumstances. Being in one building under one roof has reinforced what it is to be an artist. I think I mentioned to somebody earlier, it's very important for an artist to see other artwork being produced. This new building will actually provide what Studio Arts doesn't, and that is lines of sight through the building. So when I'm working, I can look across the hall, I can see Professor Correa teaching another class, her students producing work. It's an incredible concept, it's something that I look forward to. But let it be known that in this new building, we're going to have terrific natural light. Painting and drawing in rooms enhanced by light wells. There's going to be exchange of ideas in art to take place in the exhibition of work. The building will allow each student to routinely exhibit their work in 6 different smaller galleries. Very important for students to be able to see their work, exhibit it, and get feedback. We're going to have, as I mentioned, direct lines of sight to the diverse production of work that's taking place in the different studios and lab. We will prototype furniture. Interactive robotic art will be a feature, just like painting and drawing has historically been within the school. We will actually be able to create in this new building virtual reality exhibitions. It's going to be pretty incredible. We're going to be able to weave, for instance, in printmaking, both the analog and the digital art production. Those two things set side by side. In a manner of speaking, what we've learned over the past 3 years is collaboration. I envision our School of Art and Art History being more closely intertwined in terms of a discipline and practice with others, so that our students are actually artists, engineers, and scientists side by side. They've already begun to think of themselves this way, but the new building will produce this. It's also, by the way, for people who want to know, it's going to have very nice bicycle racks. I've seen to that. One of the things that people say to me is, won't you miss the Studio Arts building? In a word, no. I can tell you that I doubt that students will miss scrambling to the bus. I doubt that students will miss chasing down a leak in the roof with a bucket. Again, I'd like to thank all of our congressional delegation, all the people in this university who have been so much by our side in bringing our future forward. Looking to another great building. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce a terrific colleague, the Executive Director of Hancher, Chuck Swanson. Chuck?
Well, Vicki, I too have to say that I enjoyed your personal stories, and if I remember right, you either just had an anniversary or you have an anniversary coming up. Okay, thank you. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here today, and I want to reiterate the thanks that President Mason and the other speakers have offered to the many people who have helped and who are continuing to help this campus and community recover from the flood of 2008. Today is another important milestone in that recovery. Here we are on the heart of the campus talking about the importance of the arts. The importance of the arts in the lives of students, in the lives of community members, and in the lives of people across this great state. I couldn't be happier to be here and to share with you a few thoughts about Hancher and the partnerships we have forged and we continue to forge across the university, the community, and the state. I also couldn't be more proud of the work that the Hancher staff has done since the flood to ensure that we keep connecting great artists with great audiences. It hasn't been easy, but with the help of our wonderful community, we've been able to find alternative venues, and we continue to present world-class artists. We've used this unique opportunity to deepen our commitment to collaboration, both on campus and off. For example, with funding we received from the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, we created a Creative Campus Institute that brought together faculty from across the campus to engage around ideas for integrating the arts into classrooms. Our commitment to what has become known as the Creative Campus approach find us making great connections in the university and also the community. Take, for example, our Living with Floods project. As Sally said, it's a collaboration among 7 departments across the university, working together to bring robust programming to Des Moines, Council Bluffs, Muscatine, Cedar Rapids, Davenport, and Dubuque. And I've got to say, one of the most joys of this project has been jumping in the car with colleagues across the university who we had never known before and learning about their area of the university and then getting into discussions about what's next. What are we going to do together again? We love that we've been able to connect the arts to science in robust programming and that it investigates an issue that affects Iowans across the state. We look forward to sharing a new Hancher facility with the students of the University of Iowa, young people from all majors and disciplines who will be inspired and challenged by the artists we are able to present and with whom they are able to collaborate. We will continue our efforts to integrate our work into the work of faculty and staff across campus to ensure that a wide swath of students have new and amazing, and in some cases, life-changing experiences at their Performing Arts Center. And with the artists we present, we will again offer a large number of students the opportunity to work at Hancher as ushers, stagehands, and more. We know that students who work at Hancher often go on to have long and successful careers in arts management, technical theater, and related careers. And we're looking forward to providing that valuable training once again. And of course, the Hancher stage is a place for students to perform, to get that taste of the big stage, the large crowd, and the electricity that is created in an exceptional theater. We look forward to sharing a new Hancher facility with the people in our immediate community and region. We know that many of our loyal audience members have deeply missed Hancher and are eager for our first season back in a permanent home. It has been our honor to serve this community for more than 40 years, and this new state-of-the-art facility will ensure that we are able to continue to do so for a long, long time. And we look forward to sharing the New Hampshire facility with the people of the great state of Iowa. While it is a true pleasure to take artists like Preservation Hall Jazz Band and the Joffrey Ballet on a tour of the state, we are already brainstorming opportunities to invite people, and especially young people, to the New Hampshire. Ideas range from bringing folks to see a special performance to creating an event that would see young people performing on our stage. We know that New Hampshire belongs to all the people of Iowa, and we will find ways to share it with everyone. The New Hampshire facility will be outfitted with the technology and design features that will ensure that we present the finest artists from all the performing arts. Equally important, the New Hampshire facility will once again give us the privilege as a community gathering place. In an equal measure, we hear from folks who miss the scale of the performances we were able to present before the flood, and from folks who miss the gathering place in our lobby. The new facility will bring both of these experiences back to the campus for everyone to enjoy. The theater space itself, designed with input from the Hampshire staff, from our friends from the Division of Performing Arts, and from members of the community, will be more intimate from the original facility, strengthening the connection between the artists and the audience. In addition to all these things, the New Hampshire will also help with recruitment efforts as potential students, staff, and faculty, as well as those seeking to live and work throughout our community, see the full artistic vibrancy of our campus. The New Hampshire will help us continue to bring the world to Iowa City, just like we saw on stage today, in the form of diverse artists from around the globe who can connect with our diverse audience. The New Hampshire will allow us to ramp up our commissioning efforts once again, ensuring that Hampshire remains one of the most important arts organizations in the country when it comes to the creation of new work. Our commissioning program is squarely in keeping with the University of Iowa's commitment to ongoing discovery, as Sally said, in all fields of inquiry, including the arts. In short, the New Hampshire will be shared by all and a welcoming artistic home for our campus, our community, and our state. It will be an educational and performance resource that will be enjoyed by generations of Iowans and university students. While we await its completion, our staff will remain committed to our work, and we hope that each of you will join us for the performances and residency events we host in the coming seasons. One such event coming up is on June 29th, as we welcome our friends San Jose Tycho and Rindy Eckert to the site of the New Hampshire for a special ceremony. We hope you'll join us for the Hampshire Site ceremony at 4:00 p.m. that day. It will be a special time to invoke memories of the past, gratitude for the present, and hope for the future. Like today, it's going to be a pretty special day. Each day, Hampshire continues to play an important role on our campus, in our community, and across the state. And each day we get closer to the day we'll turn the key on a brand new Hampshire facility. We thank all of you for supporting us on this journey, and I can't wait. So it's my pleasure now to introduce my friend, David Gear, Director of the University of Iowa School of Music.
Thank you very much. This is incredibly inspiring. I hope to add to the excitement a little bit with my comments. It is an honor indeed to represent the School of Music students, faculty, and staff, and have this opportunity to thank all of you who have supported our flood recovery efforts and who have worked so hard to make our future so bright. In the past 5 years, those of us in the School of Music, like all of us here, have learned a great deal. Obviously, we have learned a bit about flood mitigation and the importance of teamwork. The calm, professional way that the Division of Performing Arts staff and volunteer students and faculty evacuated the theater building and our West Side Music Facility 2 weeks ago, even as HESCO barriers were being swiftly erected on all sides, was breathtaking. We have certainly tested our resilience and our adaptability. In the fall of 2008, thanks to your support, the heroic efforts of our staff and the unwavering support and leadership of Central Administration, School of Music students and faculty began classes in 19 separate locations on and around campus. Not a single class or rehearsal was missed. Students sometimes would carry their instruments to as many as 5 separate locations in a single day, but the beat went on. Although I couldn't possibly name everyone who played a key role in that tumultuous period, I must mention College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Associate Dean Joe Carney, Professor Kristen Thielander, Director of Planning for the School of Music, Kate Conrad, Division of Performing Arts, Director of Operations. Those three played a tremendous role in the immediate experience of the School of Music, and all of us in the School of Music owe a great debt to those three, particularly for their effective leadership and tireless efforts. They made a mad scramble into an organized and coordinated recovery. Now, none of that would have been possible without the leadership from above, and I was so pleased to see Dean Maxon here, who was a passionate and fierce advocate for the School of Music and all the arts units when it mattered most. So welcome back to campus, and it's so nice to see you, and thank you. In the spring semester of 2009, most of our activities were relocated to campus, with many lessons and rehearsals in the old art museum, now known as the Music West Interim Building, or MWIB to some, and a dozen or so trailers parked just outside. Now, as you might imagine, finding appropriate spaces for a School of Music is no mean feat. When you take into account the need for acoustic isolation, and we don't make the best neighbors, in case you were wondering, the need for individual practice rooms, large rooms capable of handling both the size and sonic energy of an ensemble of 100 or more musicians, and the many specialized requirements of such subdisciplines as percussion, organ, piano, or electronic music studios, and temperature and humidity control and storage to handle our substantial inventory of instruments, well, you get the picture. Remarkably, in the fall of 2009, we finally settled into our current interim facilities. Although we are not under one roof, and more about that later, and we lack acoustically optimal performance spaces for our large choral and instrumental ensembles, the School of Music now thrives in 7 separate locations. These include the space in the aforementioned Music West Interim Building, the Communications Center, the University Capitol Center, 2 ground floor spaces in apartment buildings just across from the courthouse and the post office, the Becker Communications Study Building, and the Riverside Recital Hall, the former St. Thomas More Church on the west side of the river. In all of these places, space was quickly repurposed to be suitable for various School of Music creative and scholarly activities. Perhaps the most impressive of these spaces is the remarkable beehive of acoustically isolated rooms on the 2nd floor of the old Capitol Mall, or as it is known to the University of Iowa community, the University Capitol Center. The 2-story space on the 2nd level that was once a movie theater now houses 12 performance studios, the piano faculty, all of our piano practice rooms, 2 practice organs, our music composition and theory faculty, as well as the piano lab and chamber rehearsal rooms, and on the ground level, a 100-seat student recital hall. As we have adjusted to the new normal, we have seen the very, very best of people. Our students, faculty, and staff have demonstrated remarkable resilience and creativity. We have learned anew that relationships, community, and communication are crucial in the teaching and learning enterprise. And through the tremendous support and encouragement that we have received, we have come to understand and appreciate the centrality of the arts on this campus and in this community. You heard remarks from President Mason at the beginning of today's presentation that reinforced that very thing. We know that without the support of President Mason, Provost Butler, Dean Jalali, and Dean Maxon, and you, our partners in government and in the community, things could have been very, very different. Of course, with every cloud, there is the proverbial silver lining. Although we all miss the beauty of our old home, the arts campus on the banks of the Iowa River, we have come to love our proximity to the center of campus. Now the arts are everywhere. Many members of the university community who never even knew we had a school of music, and how could that possibly be, have noticed cellists and tuba players in their midst and have wandered into our concerts. We are developing new audiences, feeding off the vitality of Central Campus and thriving in the midst of campus life. As we look forward to the opening of our new home in 2016, only 3 years away, we are particularly thrilled with our site, just a block south of here and at the corner of Clinton and Burlington, near the heart of campus and proximate to our vibrant downtown. Our architects immediately recognized the enormous potential of this site, its literal and symbolic centrality. They have designed a structure that will not only support the work of our 400 plus majors and the 2,000 or more non-majors that participate in our ensembles and course offerings each year, but will also invite the university and Iowa City communities into our building, to our more than 350 annual events that are free and open to the public. With its welcoming glass facade and easily accessible and acoustically optimal 200 and 700 seat halls, the new School of Music will support our commitment to public engagement and our role in the remarkable cultural climate that enriches the lives of the entire university community and makes Iowa City and the region one of the great places in the country to live and work. I think Representative Lensing's comments earlier spoke beautifully to that very point. Of course, what is really important is how the exciting new structure will impact our students and enhance and expand their experience in ways that have been impossible since 2008. Music is the most collaborative of disciplines. Now, Steve and I might argue about that, but nonetheless, when we come together in our new building, students and faculty will have the opportunity to interact in those many serendipitous ways that are so important to music education. Let me give you a few examples. Imagine a freshman walking down a practice corridor in our new building, somewhat adrift, as freshmen can be. She hears an experienced graduate student carefully working through a difficult passage, attending to detail, building in technical proficiency and musical expressiveness through controlled repetition. The freshman says, that's how it's done. Or imagine a group of musicians following up on something that they had discussed in music history, perhaps Professor Wilson Kimber's class. That very morning, they go up to our music library, which will be in this new facility, and they check out a score and take it into one of our new chamber music rehearsal rooms and discover the music after just having discussed its historical context. Or imagine a composer pulling 4 or 5 students from their diligent practice to play through a freshly composed passage of music to see if what he was hearing in his mind was really possible or playable. These sorts of unplanned but critically important interactions will all be possible again in our new building. With its excellent acoustics, state-of-the-art recording and computing technology, and specialized spaces to support our many distinctive and distinguished programs, our new building will also inspire creativity and support our mission to teach timeless musical values, but also prepare our students for a rapidly changing world. One of the features that I am most excited about will be our new student recital hall. It will be at the edge of the building, perched on the 2nd floor above Clinton Street. Its east-facing glass facade will glow at night as students present their capstone recitals to their families, fellow students, faculty, mentors, and the general public. Thank you again for your role in making this very exciting future possible and for your abiding support these past 5 years. We have much to look forward to. It now is my great pleasure to introduce to you Jessica Prey, a School of Music vocal student known to many of you, I'm sure, as Miss Iowa 2011. Jessica is in the middle of rehearsals for our upcoming summer opera, but she has graciously agreed to speak and perform today. I can think of no one better to inspire you about what we do, who we are, and what we aspire to do here at the University of Iowa. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Prey.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me be a part of this celebration of partnership on this beautiful Friday. Too bad we couldn't be outside. But it's really my honor to represent the thousands of my fellow and former students who have benefited from the amazing teachers and faculty members here. But I'm especially excited to be able to represent the future students who will benefit from the new facilities in the coming future, which is coming very soon. I want to thank everyone. I know we've heard several people called out by name, but I just want to thank you all for coming here and showing your support for the new buildings, and also just showing your support for collaboration and partnership. And it's really exciting to see it as a student that people really are invested in my future as well. I've always had a passion for singing, and I've always loved being on the stage. I feel quite at home. No. But I really do. And when it came time for me to choose the place where I wanted to have my education, I knew it would be the University of Iowa. I was looking for a place that had top-notch voice teachers, where I could be trained by excellent teachers. I also was looking for a place that would provide me with performing experience so that when I graduate and get out onto the real world, as they all say it is, that I'll be prepared and have roles under my belt that I can show that I know. I also wanted a place that I could collaborate with other artists and have master classes with guest artists. And I'm proud to say that the University of Iowa has done that and more for me, including having an academic focus as well, which is what I was looking for. Now, I got to see my sister, Jennifer, grow and mature as a young dancer during her 4 years at the University of Iowa. And I'm proud to say that when she graduated in May 2011 with a degree in dance and a degree in international relations, that she got a job within just a few short months, a position as a principal dancer with Ballet Minnesota. And I'm quite proud to say that her story is not the only one. The students coming out of these programs are truly prepared and they're talented because they've been taught by the best. And I've really enjoyed my time here, even with temporary facilities. I came to the University of Iowa in fall of 2010. So this was 2 years after the flood. I never got to experience our older buildings. And I knew about the flood, I knew that it happened, and everything was supposedly temporary, but it never felt that way. It never felt that my education was being put on hold for the future buildings that would come to be. I never felt that my vocal training was hindered by not having state-of-the-art facility. And yet I do have to say, I'm quite jealous of the students who will get to have that in the coming years. But I really think the fact that this place has always felt like home to me, and the place has never felt temporary, is a true testament to the people here and the spirit of Iowans. It's a testament to my voice teachers, to my music history teachers and music theory teachers, all sorts of faculty and students, that we've been able to truly rise above the floodwaters and really be able to still further our mission of excellence in education. Now, my experience at Iowa has been extraordinary. Of course, I'm biased, it's my own experience, and I've never known another college. But when I was in high school, I did tour several other colleges, and I found nothing quite like this. And that's what I'm so excited with the addition of the new buildings in the future, that everything is going to be, the competition that University of Iowa will have across the country with other colleges will be incredible. We will draw so many students from not only just in the state of Iowa, but across the country and even globally to come here because we have such excellent education in the arts programs and academic programs, but also because of these new facilities. They truly are innovative spaces that will encourage creativity and learning. And I'm excited to come back in the future at some point and be able to have a recital in the new recital hall. But I'm really excited for the future of the University of Iowa, and I really thank all of you for making it happen, making it possible, and I am so happy for the students who will benefit from the facilities in just a few years. Thank you very much. And at this time, I thought, what better way to celebrate today than with music? one of the 3 buildings that will be built. And this is actually an aria from an opera we're doing in the spring, Die Fledermaus. And this is the English version, but you'd enjoy it a little more. Unfortunately, that's what you get when you've been sitting for over an hour without talking. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Now you see why we're doing this. Jessica, Steve, David, this day is for you. It really is all about our students and our faculty. It really is all about what the University of Iowa is all about. There's no doubt in my mind, and I hope no doubt in anyone else's mind as well. I apologize for the mess in town, but you can see that coming from that mess, there will be some spectacular things in the not too distant future. So I want to say once again thank you to all of you for coming today. I too want to thank Linda Maxon. I haven't seen Linda in a while. It's great to have her back on campus, and she certainly helped lead us through a very challenging time as we all continue to recover from the flood. So you have set the stage now for the future excitement of arts and minds coming together at the University of Iowa in the months and years ahead. So thank you again to our local, state, and federal partners who have brought us to this exciting milestone, to the city of Iowa City, to the city of Coralville, to Johnson County, the Iowa legislature, Governor Branstad and Lieutenant Governor Reynolds, the Board of Regents, Iowa Homeland Security, FEMA, and our federal congressional delegation. And thank you all for coming out to join us today. Please stay for some light refreshments, and also I invite you to enjoy the performances. Are we having performances on the stages? Good, perfect. In Old Capitol. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.